I decided on UT based on a couple of things. Number one, UT was dominant in the Southwest Conference. Number two, my dad loved UT. And number three, it was close to home. And so my dad being in the military, growing up, he wasn't around much. So I wanted to make sure that he could come and watch me play. And I still remember taking an unofficial visit. I knew right then and there UT was my home. And so that night when I got home, talked with my dad and called Coach Akers. And it was probably about maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and committed to UT. Still hear the fans. Still hear the fans. Unfortunately, my sophomore and junior year, I got knocked out relatively midway through the season. So my main focus was to stay healthy at all costs. And I was able to achieve that. It meant everything to me. I was one of the captains, right? So I was one of the leaders that the team looked up to. I felt at the time as a leader, you had to be healthy, you had to be there for the team. Doesn't matter what the cost is. So for me to play the full season meant a lot, and to finally play in the A&M game was extra special. There were several scouts that told me I was going to go in the mid-rounds. To be drafted by Kansas City in the 5th round surprised me a little bit. I was happy, shocked. I knew that once I did get drafted, my ultimate dream of not playing in the NFL but playing in the Super Bowl was on the way. And this was just another step in that process. It was just a dream come true, Kansas City took a chance with me, and I did everything I could to make sure that I was good enough for the team. Unfortunately, after the 3rd preseason, they decided I wasn't of that material, so I had to move on. My agent called me and says, "Hey, World League's interested in you. They want to sign you right now. It's a new league. It's going to start in Europe. It's kind of like a stepping stone to back into the NFL." We discussed it, talked it over, and while my wife was here finishing up her degree at UT, I decided to go on over to Europe and play for the Frankfurt Galaxy and play offensive tackle for them. I started all 10 games. Actually, I played almost every down of all 10 games, and I think it allowed me to better my position in going back into the NFL. I land in Dallas. The very next day, my agent calls and says, "Hey, you're not going to believe this." I was like, "What's up?" He goes, "4 teams want you, and you've got contracts on all 4. We saw Buffalo Bills on the plot, and I just remember talking with my agent and basically saying, "They went to the Super Bowl last year. They got a pretty good team. I want to play for the best." So I still remember signing the paperwork and just, again, at awe of the fact that my talent was good enough to be recognized by a Super Bowl contending team. We're probably in the 2nd week of 2-a-days, and we're doing one-on-one drills, and the knee just imploded. I mean, just completely exploded. And I think I heard 4 pops in a snap. I remember going down. I remember the trainers driving the gurney up and basically told them, "I'm not a meat on the hoof. I'll walk off this field." And I think that's part of UT in me. And so I walked off the field, and then the next morning wasn't good. Took one step, and I was on my rear. And I remember the hill basically looking right at me, and so I knew it was pretty bad. MRI showed I think 3 out of the 4 ligaments were completely gone. I knew it was season ending, career ending. The only reason that thought ever entered my mind was when Dr. Weiss said, "You'll never play it down again." Basically told him some words that I'd rather not say on camera, and basically told him, "I will prove you wrong." I was well along the way in the rehab. Everything's going good. After the Super Bowl, about 2, 3, 4 weeks later, I was on the Cybex machine and blew my knee out again. And at that point in time, I knew that was it. We were done.
It was very, very rough. He wouldn't get out of bed. He had no desire to do, and he was done. He was just done because his dream had just been crushed. So it was very, very hard.
It was devastating. To go out not on your terms destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. Destroyed every part of my plan. That wasn't in my plan. That wasn't in the grand scheme of things. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. The song Deep Dark Depression and Misery, that definitely set in. But I will say this, if it wasn't for my wife, she was the rock. She literally kicked my rear every day, pounding the one-hats, finding the job, encouraging me to move on. Football is over, you gotta move on. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in this situation today.
I just remember the emotion of, what do we do? What do we do now? That's what he had built his life for. All he wanted to do was play football. All he had ever been brought up to do was play football. It took a while for it to sink in that I'm done. What do I do?
I was injured. I'm an ex-athlete. I don't have my degree. And at the time, the blinders were on so tight, I was just concerned about the next day.
I think it affected him that he just didn't finish, that he was so close to finishing, and he didn't. He was busy working. Then we had a daughter. We were busy raising her, the money. We just didn't have the money or the time to stop to come back to Austin. We had settled in Houston, and it just killed him that he gave so much to the university and does not have a degree.
It started to consume me more than I thought it would. And watching my daughter graduate from Mississippi State, #1 in her class, that gave me the motivation to say, you know what, we're in a position now, doesn't matter how many classes it's going to take, we can handle it.
Found out that Ken wanted to come back. It was through an email. He actually emailed the Longhorn Foundation and got in touch with Ricky Brown, who turned around and forwarded that message to one of our professors in kinesiology and health, Dr. Jan Todd. She responded back to Ken and copied me in, saying that she would connect him to the assistant dean because she thought I might be able to help him. And then she kind of threw in and said, oh, by the way, you may know him because he was a former player as well.
He sent me a picture of him and Robbie, and then I remembered him, but I just remember him turning around and his eyes must have got about as big as silver dollars.
First practice, your eyes were as big as saucers, and it wasn't out of fear, it was just in awe. I said, well, Ken, it was a little bit of fear because I'd never seen anybody as big as you, and I knew I was going to be running up against you. So, but that's what kind of clicked it. And then I know he kind of kept repeating, like, I can't believe this is happening. Are you serious? Like, I'm pinching myself. And it was like, no, Ken, this is, it is. And I'm excited for you. And, let's get you to graduation, because now that you're finishing, take that final step and walk, at the graduation ceremony.
Now I had a purpose. Now I was dedicated to get it, and now I have the right people that I need to talk to help guide me on what I need to do. And I was supposed to graduate in the summer, and lo and behold, I graduated in the spring, 2016.
Kenneth Von Hackemack, my old teammate.
That 400-ton gorilla just lifted off my back. It was I still get emotional on this. It was just a surreal moment. I didn't realize how bad I needed that degree, how I needed that closure.
I mean, I just teared up because I knew that he had wanted that so badly, and just seeing him walk in, and you could pick him out in the crowd. I mean, there he was, and it was just heartwarming to see him. I knew he wanted it so badly, and then he had accomplished something that he set out to do.
For Richard, a teammate of mine, to call my name, that was a surreal moment.
For him and all the guys that come back to finish, it's one of those like, okay, this is a final step, let's close that chapter, and this is that, that final paragraph in that chapter. And to see them come up at graduation, it's a little bit even more special for me because of that connection.
Now I have a backup. I have something that no one can take away from me, ever. And that's just fulfilling. It still blows me away today that when I put in that request of, hey, what is it going to take to get my degree? Just the response, the people willing to help blew me away. It's what makes UT UT. What makes our athletic department one of the best in the nation. It's people willing to help others in a time of need reach their goal, and which in my case was to get my degree. It basically solidifies why I made the right choice to go to UT. She's my rock. Words cannot describe the strength that woman has. She's been through hell and back with me, and she stood by me the whole time. We've been married for 25 years. You know, some of it wedding bliss, some of it rocky road, but I would not change that for the world. She's the reason I'm here today.
He's a hard worker. He does everything that he can to be successful, and he's made, for not having that degree for the amount of years that he had, he's done a phenomenal job of being able to raise a family, have houses, carry on a career, and now he's finished. We raised Taylor, and now he can take his turn.
Don't give up. Pursue that dream. Don't wait. Don't do what I did and wait 25 years before you finally realize you need to get your degree. I don't regret the path that I've taken. There are a lot of detours, but eventually UT came calling, and I answered the call.